the Healing Through Love podcast with Charlene Lynch and Rose Davidson.
Welcome to the Healing Through Love podcast. I'm Charlene Lynch, and together we're shining a light on hope, resilience, transformation in the journey to end domestic violence. Each week, we bring you inspiring interviews with change makers, survivors, advocates, and experts who are making a difference in the lives of those affected by domestic and family violence. Whether you're on a healing journey or supporting someone who is, this is your safe space for powerful stories, practical tools, and heartfelt inspirations. Let's heal through love. Today, I've got an amazing guest, Kristine Genovese, and I'm sure she'll let me know if I didn't pronounce that correct. And I'm sure she must have Italian roots with the name Genovese, is a transformative force in holistic health, empowering healthcare professionals to reclaim their own well-being. It's absolutely amazing what she brings to the planet. This is soul intelligence. It's a movement. It's a practice. It's a theology. It's big. We're going to unpack this today. Hello and welcome to the stage.
Oh, Charlene, I'm delighted to be here. Thank you so much.
I love it. Now, okay, how did you get here? So obviously you've become this, but this is not where you started your journey. So how did you get here?
Well, when everybody had the COVID timeout, it was March 12th of 2020. I was a corporate turnaround specialist for most of my career, learning how to assemble the right people, processes, technology to help a business thrive and succeed. And, there's always those underlying, um, you know, themes or energies or things that the company is experiencing that need to move up and shift. So kind of had a sense for this work coming. But I was on my last corporate turnaround. We were on year one of a 3-year planned turnaround. I had just gotten a performance bonus. I was at a doctor's appointment with my now husband, who was going through prostate cancer biopsy at the time when I got the call from the head of HR letting me know my services were no longer needed. Now, I was in absolute complete shock because I had just gotten a performance bonus. Everything was going in the right direction. So I was like, what are you talking about? What do you mean my services are no longer needed? And they said they were going to go in a different direction. I'm like, what, backwards? So I texted the COO of the company, my boss, and I said, I just got fired. He says, me too. I'm like, what? So it turns out that we had asked to hire more people in the fourth quarter so that we would be able to convert the marketing leads that were coming in the first quarter. And we kept getting told no by the CEO. We couldn't hire people. He wanted to hold the line on expenses. So we had a board deck put together that showed had we been able to hire those people, not only would we have met the Q1 expectation, we would have exceeded it. And so he summarily fired me and my boss, walked into the boardroom with the board deck, and went on a hiring spree. Now, karma has a way of working things out. So I'll wrap that end of the story up for you. Um, Basically, he was investigated by the board and removed from office. They hired a replacement who was a crony of his, and those two summarily ran the company into the ground. So that's unfortunate. But again, what happened to Kristine? Well, I feel like it was divine intervention. I think I was plucked out of corporate America and given a 9-month runway to figure out what do I really want to do with my life. And I think a lot of us kind of get stuck in that place where we're in our zone of excellence, right? People love us in that job and you're good at it. You get paid well for it. You identify with it. It's who you are. And it's a very difficult thing to leave, but you kind of have this niggling feeling that you need to do something different. And so having the time and space to go within, to meditate, to connect to a power greater than myself, I was actually able to know through a powerful meditation. I remember having tears streaming down my face that I couldn't go back into corporate America, that I needed to step into my zone of genius, as Brandon Burchard says. And that's when the soul intelligence method came to me.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love divine intervention. I love everything about frequency, frequency of thought, frequency of language. And you know what? Thanks, COVID. Hello. Because it really, for those who were ready for the messages, ready for the downloads, ready for the information, ready to let go and be open, it was a time of planetary healing.
Mm,
It was a shift.
absolutely.
It was a shift. And as a mind shift expert, I can see the irony in that. I love it. I love it. Okay. So now you receive some downloads and you've got a series of information. You've obviously then stepped in and helped other people, and then it's become a thing. So tell us about the thing.
Sure. So, I introduced it through coaching, through executive coaching. I would have an initial session with someone, and then I would have a midpoint session, and then the last session, I would say, because I was doing executive coaching and leadership coaching at the time, I would say, well, do you want a traditional coaching session where we kind of talk about where you want to take your team and where you want to move the company? Or do you want to get to the root cause of your challenges at home and your personal life as well as your professional life? And do you want to take a risk walk with me and try the soul intelligence method? So every single person I worked with said, yeah, I'm in. And I knew I was onto something. So essentially what the method is, it's a book of charts that I use with a pendulum to discern information. And how that's done is I have to back up and really explain the science behind the method. So in the 1950s, Dr. Alexander Lowen, ta-da, she has a pendulum, love it. Dr. Alexander Lowen documented a science called bioenergetics. And what bioenergetics is the correlation between your physical well-being and your mental and emotional well-being, which to me, being a New Yorker, common sense says, if you have something going wrong with you physically, typically mentally and emotionally, you're not doing so hot, or vice versa, right? So it goes back to me even further, where Einstein said the future of medicine is energy and frequency. And that is because we are all energy, and energy can't be destroyed. It can only be transmuted into something else once it's created. And so if we remember maybe our primary school or grade school, depending on what you call it, we learned everyone and everything is energy. We're all protons, neutrons, electrons vibrating in this electromagnetic field. But I think we forget that because we're physical, we're corporal. And as matter, physical matter, we move so slowly, it appears like we're not moving at all. But we've got electricity running through our body. We're made mostly of water. We're a conductor. You've got your the electromagnetic spark, the electric spark in your brain, where that first inspiration, IQ, idea starts, is the masculine part of the electromagnetic field and the electric part. And what magnetizes things to you, what brings things into you, bring things into form, is, right, the energy, the emotion. And when energy is no longer in motion, because that's what emotion is, when it starts to pool, that's when it causes dis-ease or dysfunction in the body or dissonance in your frequency, and you typically need to go see a doctor, right? And so I work in that field where I can help people figure out, what is that trapped trauma? What is that trapped emotion? What is that self-limiting belief? Because our body is really the barometer to our subconscious mind, where everything is held, okay? The trauma is held in our cells, in the subconscious mind, the self-limiting beliefs, which are those repetitive thoughts that cloud the way we view the world. All of that stuff is in the subconscious mind. And when you think about how all of the strategizing, figuring, calculating, planning goes on with just 5% of the conscious mind, of our mind. We only use 5% of it to do all that stuff. Everything else is in the subconscious mind, the autonomic nervous system, and it's a good thing because, we'd stop breathing overnight if we didn't have a subconscious mind. So I work I partner with, integrative health practitioners, functional medicine doctors, wellness professionals of all kinds to help them and their patients heal holistically and completely. Because anything that goes wrong in the physical body always has an underlying emotional root cause. And the method, the best thing about it is all you have to do is show up to a Zoom session to receive. That's it. You don't have to do anything. And I think we forget that, right? We're human beings, not human doings. So it's nice that you just get to show up and receive. And then I can partner with these physicians and healthcare professionals to get to that root cause so that somebody can heal a chronic illness or truly heal that trauma without having to relive the pain that caused it in the first place.
Oh, you're speaking my language, and it's all very woo. I love it. And everything that you've said is 100% accurate on every level. And I think that the world is waking up. I hear even on church on Sunday, they were speaking language of woo. And I'm like, oh, it's getting in everywhere. I love it. I love it. So we are frequency, and frequency is thought. It is language. I love this. So
Mhm.
so you got to download, and now you've helped other people. You've given them a choice, and they've all gone in this direction because we really want that soul alliance. We want to be purpose driven. We want to be feeling like as if we're making a difference for others, but and living on purpose. I love this. So now, when you work with people, you work with them one on one, or you work with them in a group environment.
Well, it just depends. So I offer a free group session once a month. Um, and I know our time zones are a little different, but I operate on Eastern time zone. So for me, it's typically 6 p.m. Eastern when I do these, the first Wednesday of every month. And when I do a group session, it's based around a theme. So perhaps during May, we celebrate Mother's Day. So I might focus on mothers or mother wounds or things that come down the mother line or things like that. That I have one coming up this week, and I might pay attention to what's going on energetically or what's been coming up for my clients in that time period. So just trying to assess, what is the best benefit for everybody that's going to be on the call, listening live or later, because you will get a shift regardless. And when I do the one-on-one work, it's pretty powerful. So I typically recommend that people have a few sessions because you go to a chiropractor for a biomechanical adjustment and you come to me for a bioenergetic adjustment. And because we're these energetic beings, right, we're magnetic. So we attract things to us, stuff we want and stuff we don't want. That can include people, in our lives, right? And when you're around those people repetitively, you sometimes pick up on their stuff. So sometimes some of the things that I'm doing, I'm shifting for you, but it's really somebody else's stuff you're carrying or somebody else has impacted you.
Yes,
And so
absolutely.
that's where that trauma work comes in.
I love it. Now, as a survivor of family and domestic violence, for me, that I noticed the patterns of behavior that was set early in on the piece by being in a family environment where at one point it was just that's how life was. So it became the norm. And then as I grew up, and then I took those patterns of behavior with me and then expected here's the script for the play. Who wants to be the actor in my play? And they were, for the most part, men that were on one level, either physically, verbally, or financially, well, not okay. And they were expressing their wounds to me, but I was magnetically attracting them. And for me, one of the biggest shifts was coming to that realization. And I'm sorry if we're triggering anyone who's listening to this, but coming to the
Mhm,
realization that I was magnetically attracting these people because I
mhm.
was carrying around a pattern of behavior and I was looking for a player to play in my script. And that was one of the biggest shifts for me to then find love. And get married late in life. So I got married at 56. I know, late in life. And but yeah, it was that shift in identity and the realizing of those patterns that really enabled me. It's so deep. It's not just in language, it's not just in thought, it's on a subconscious level that we don't even give ourselves the opportunity to bring up to have that level of awareness. So, our audience that are listening today, what sort of things could they see as patterns of behavior, or they could see as outcomes? What are the results that they're getting right now that could be attached to something that's come from a previous programming, let's call it?
Oh, great question. I will share my own personal story since you have. I grew up with an alcoholic parent, and so in order to get attention, feel loved, I had to overachieve. I couldn't just meet the mark, I had to exceed the mark. So growing up with this feeling of whatever you do is not good enough served me very well in corporate America, right? I was a rock star. I did not get fired until COVID. Like I always met or exceeded expectations. I did well in sports because of that. And so it really served me in a number of areas. Where it did not serve me well was in my personal relationships. So I attracted partners who would underdo and I would overdo. And so I was never felt fully supported. I felt invisible. I didn't feel like I was, on the to-do list whatsoever. And it was pretty destructive in terms of, not having a healthy marriage. And so I'm 0 for 3, so I am single. I tend to stay that way. I might have a committed relationship with someone, but I think for marriage is kind of off the table for me. I'm like, I've done this a few times, so I'm gonna let it go. But I have healed that now, right? So, it's always interesting. Healer, heal thyself. I've also had people with, for example, I'll use an example of a doctor. So, this doctor wasn't able to walk on her foot. Now, this is a doctor. She wasn't able to walk on her foot for, like 4 to 6 months, somewhere in that neighborhood. I think she told me it was about a 5-month period. And no matter what she did, it wouldn't work. And then she had a sinus infection on top of that was nagging and that just wouldn't seem to go away. So we did a session, and in the session, I said to her, I go, well, what's the deal with all of these men, like, who are not supporting you? They are not, it's like you're this conflict with a lot of men. And I'm like, what's going on in your world? And she says, oh, I have been in a lawsuit with a contracting firm who didn't do work properly on my home. And my own attorney is not getting back to me and answering. And it's been going on for quite some time. And I said, okay, got it. I go, that explains all the men and the abuse. And I said, and that's why you can't move forward. Right? You literally can't step forward on and put any weight on your right foot. Right side of the body's male. So I was like, okay. So we worked on that. We were able to shift things, and then I worked on the sinus infection, which is usually an irritation with someone, that you're close to, hence the attorney not returning her calls. And so the next day I got a text from her. She said, oh my God, I was literally having to crawl between my bedroom and the bathroom because I could not put weight on my foot and I wasn't feeling up to using crutches. She goes, I can't believe it. I was able to walk to the bathroom. I was able to get myself a cup of coffee in the kitchen. She goes, and my sinus infection is gone. And I said, great. Did you take that foot and shove it up your attorney's backside? And she was like, yes, that's my next call. So it can be something that manifests in the physical because it's been in there for so long, or it can be a self-limiting belief that keeps showing up as a pattern. It could be an archetype, which is a pattern that sometimes we take on that also, or role in our life that we feel we're supposed to fulfill. So when I work with people, I'm able to figure out, because my mission is a pretty lofty one as well. It's to make the world healthy physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, ultimately, energetically. So I'm definitely on a similar path. And the cool thing is that when you choose to heal yourself, you're not only impacting yourself or the people that you're closest to, but there's a butterfly effect. And if you've ever read about the butterfly effect, it's, if a butterfly on one side of the world changes its flight pattern, it could potentially cause a tsunami on the other side of the world. What does that mean? It means we're all connected. We're all energy. We're all part of the what we'll call the collective consciousness. So when you choose to heal you, you are naturally healing and helping to heal others, whether you know them or not. And so that's why I always say self-care isn't selfish, it's sacred.
I love it. We are on the same mission. I've just summarized mine to raise the frequency of the planet. You know what? It's the same thing. It's just
Hmm.
it's easier to remember. I love it. And I love everything that you do. I love what you bring. I love that it's come from a level of self-awareness as well. Like I've got to know who are your like faves? Like I'm a Carolyn Mace, I love a Louis. I've got a huge list of people that I absolutely love in this space of energy and healing. Who are your icons? Who do you, who have been your mentors in this space?
Well, I love Dr. Joe Dispenza because he, focuses on, the neuroscience and the quantum field and physics. And I'm very much grounded in science, right? And like you, I'm a businesswoman, so I tend to be a pretty grounded person that happens to work in the spiritual world as well. And so I try and always bring the science of what I'm doing into my work. And I think that's also what gives it some validity, especially, with our medical community, right? They're understanding, how energy and frequency is changing medicine today. We're using energy and frequency to kill cancer cells. So it's no longer this woo-woo thing. It is legit. And I think people forget, the only reason we're seeing each other via Zoom right now is an energy transfer. Yeah, the only way you get to stream anything from the mysterious internet is 5G. It's frequency, information coming in, and an energy transfer. So just because we're physical, we forget that everything is energy. Music is all energy, frequency, information that's coming in that we receive. So our world is all energy and frequency. So Dr. Joe Dispenza is one of my all-time faves. I love the book The Secret, and and it was also a movie, and I'm in a movie that's coming out towards the beginning of next year called The Pillars of Power, and it is a 20-year anniversary of The Secret. And so it's about the pioneers of transformation, people like Dr. Joe Vitale and Marie Diamond and John Asseroff, as well as today's transformational specialists like myself. So it's a pretty incredible opportunity.
I love it. I love it. I can't wait for that. We should have a big release here in Australia and make a big what-to-do about it because this is important. This is how we get to the masses. This is how we have these conversations so that can become the norm. I love everything that you bring to the planet. It is absolutely beautiful. We could just talk for hours, no joke. I've got so many questions. Yes, and just to finish off today for our listeners, if you're listening today and you are a survivor of family and or domestic violence, reach out to Healing Through Love. We have Pamper Days, think day spa on steroids, and come and enjoy a day that is free for you as a survivor, supported by our practitioners. So they're not just here in Australia, they are globally, but reach out to Healing Through Love and we'll tell you where the next one is in your location. And if you're listening today and you're a practitioner, we would love to hear from you because we're obviously looking for practitioners in different countries as well. Now, how do people get hold of you? What's the best way to get hold of you? We will put your links in the bio and in the show notes and in the show description. But what's the best way to people connect? Is it the masterclass that you run on a monthly basis?
That's a great way to experience the work live, right? To get a taste of what soul intelligence is. But I also have an online course to teach people how to be a neuroenergetic health practitioner. And all of the information about me is on my website, which is soul, S-O-U-L, intelligencemethod.com. And the other thing, if you're interested in learning more, I wrote a book that was bestseller by the LA Tribune, and it's just been recognized as Book of the Year by Best Holistic Life magazine, which was amazing for 2025, and I'm nominated for 26 as well, which is so cool. It's called Healing Through Soul Intelligence, and it's available on Amazon and Audible, so as well as Barnes and Nobles and all kinds of places. So if people are interested in learning more, that's a great way to get in touch.
Oh, it's been a beautiful conversation. I'm looking forward to having you back again to have a richer conversation. We can do some examples and dive in even deeper. It's fantastic to be in your proximity. I can feel the frequency from here. It's a goodbye from me at Healing Through Love. And thanks, Kristine.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Healing Through Love. You can get further resources, see the show notes, or simply reach out to us. via our website at htlaustralia.org. Thanks so much for joining us, and we look forward to your company next time on the Healing Through Love podcast.